Come to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% Villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon. Well, hello everyone, it's Don and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I don't know how many people we have on. It looks like we got 32 people already. Wow. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm here to answer your questions and hopefully maybe we'll dispel a few myths and misinformation and rumors and we'll have a little fun while we're doing it. Anyway, so I do not work for the villages. I never have, and I do not accept any advertising from them. I never have. I am here to give you an unbiased view. Okay, I'm biased. I like where I live. I love where I live. And so yes, I'm generally very positive, but I have no allegiance to anybody but the truth. I'm also a county commissioner here in Sumter County. And because of that, I am concerned very deeply about Florida sunshine laws. I don't want to be in violation of them. So in order to prevent that, basically, if you ask a question, I can give you and it affects the county, I can give you the facts of the situation, but I can't tell you what my opinion is going to be or how I'm going to vote. But hello, everyone. I see people coming up all real quick here. Place looked great. Yeah. So if you watched a little bit of the lead-in, there is an open house at that house. That is in the village of Hillsboro. It's a great location. It's right on the corner of Hillsboro Trail and Buena Vista. About 5 or 6 minutes golf cart ride from Brownwood. About the same from Pinellas Plaza. So it's a great location. So Rich says, hi Don, we're having a heat wave in PA, 39 degrees and sunny. Yeah, cold and snow are two 4-letter words that we're just not going to use. Anyway, so today I wanted to touch on a couple of items, the first being the bond. As I said in the trailer, it's a trifecta: the maintenance assessment, the amenity fees, and the bonds. Those are the 3 fees that we have to pay if you buy a house here in the villages. And there's a lot of confusion about the bond, what it's for, who gets the money, and so on. So let's get started on that. Wow. Okay. C.K. Murphy. We'll talk about sinkholes when we get to it. Aquifer levels because of the villages. Yes, okay. You know what? Before we start on the bonds, let's talk about this aquifer level that C.K. Murphy is asking about. So there's this perception that because of the villages' growth, we're dropping the aquifer levels in the state, and that's causing the sinkholes. Okay, the villages represents about 1% of the growth in the state of Florida. The state says around 1,000 people a day move to the state of Florida. The state is constantly growing. The growth of the villages is part of that. Our water usage, though, is actually less than the average home because of the reclaimed water that we use for irrigation and for irrigation. We catch everything in our retention ponds. So, our water usage is actually less per person than the statewide average. So if there's somebody taking water out of the aquifer and it's causing the levels to drop, the village is responsible for what, maybe 1% of that. So yeah, try to point the fingers at the village's growth. isn't going to happen. You want to see growth, go down to Orlando. Holy mackerel. You know, when I moved to Florida in '06, the Webster Beltway wasn't even opened yet. It didn't open until, jeepers, it was what? Early December, I think it was. 429 opened in '06, and I actually almost got in trouble on it that night that it opened. It was raining, and I took a wrong turn. But, and there was nothing out there. And I worked on that road in the job I worked on for 4 years. And there was very little growth out there. Now you go out there and there's lots of homes being built. But anyway, you know, the growth is not, if the water levels are dropping, it's not because of the villages. Yes, we're a small part of it, but we are not the major contributor. John says, hey, any news about grocery stores in Middleton or Eastport yet? No, nothing yet. Nothing official or any documents I'm finding yet to put out information on. All right. Let's go back to the bond. The bond, again, is just a part of the cost of your house. If we didn't have a bond, then the cost would be rolled into the price of your house. Really, the big thing that the bond does is it improves cash flow for the developers here in the state of Florida, because they're not waiting until each house sells to get a little bit of that back that they put into the infrastructure that goes to build the community. They get it as the infrastructure is complete. The CDD government or local government pays them as they go. The developer doesn't hold the bonds. They are publicly traded, and they generally trade extremely well. The last set of bonds that went up for sale for CDD 15, I'm trying to remember the numbers. It was like 20 times the value is what they had calls for. So it was huge. So what does a bond pay for? It doesn't pay for the amenities. The amenities are something totally separate. Yes, the amenities are in the community, but it doesn't pay for those. The developer pays for those out of their own pocket. The bond pays for things like retention ponds, stormwater drains. It pays for the roads. Okay, we have some roads that are being paid for by the county. It's a county road agreement, and that's worked out between the cities, the county, and the villages. Why do that? Because when cities and counties authorize growth, they have a joint responsibility in ensuring access. The good thing about this county road agreement is it's very beneficial to the county because it's either 5 years no interest before the first payment is due, or 15 years no interest. And I say no interest, there's no interest charged, period. And they don't have to make a payment for the first 5 years after they get the invoice. 5 years later, the county writes the check. But let's go back to the bond. So the bonds are used to build this infrastructure, and then we each pay a portion of it. And the way it's decided is you take the cost to create all this infrastructure, and then you attach that cost to the assessable acreage. Now, what is assessable acreage? That's acreage, property, pieces of property that you can tax. They can't tax roads. Okay, there's nobody there to pay it. So the cost of that road is then distributed into the assessable properties. Same thing with the stormwater drains, the retention ponds. They are not counted in the assessable acreage, but they are part of the overall acreage that was developed for the community. Once they have the number of assessable acres, they divide the cost of developing that buy that number of acres, and they have a cost per acre. Then they take each subdivision. Let's say your 230V, whatever number your lot is. So unit 230 might have 40 houses, and it occupies 10 acres. So they're going to take that cost per acre, multiply it by 10, then divide it by 40, and each homeowner, regardless of their lot size, pays the same amount in that subdivision. And each subdivision has a different number. Things like patio villas, relatively small lots, so you get a lot of homes in a small amount of acreage. Same thing with courtyard villas. So their bond rate is relatively low. Then you take a premier home. Look at the Enclave. The Enclave has bond rates of about $72,000. Okay. That is that's just because the lots are so big. Sorry, I saw something on the screen I want to touch on, and I'll get to it. I have the scrolling list in front of me as you guys are typing your comments, so I'm going to catch up. So as each subdivision has different acreage, different number quantities, that's why the different bond rates. My house that I purchased last year, down in Moultrie Creek, it is a set of veranda homes, but because of the way they're laid out, the lots, especially on the outer section of it, are very large. Okay, and therefore we have a lot of acreage and a small number of homes. Therefore, we have right now the third highest bond rate in CDD 15. It is what it is. So you're going to pay that no matter what. Okay, you're going to pay the cost for the bond no matter what. This allows the developer, though, to recoup those costs. Why? What advantage does that have? Well, if you've gone to some communities and looked at homes and the salesman's giving you their pitch and they're saying, well, over there is going to be the fifth hole of the golf course when they build it. No. Those things are built now. They can invest their money in amenities and other areas where they're more beneficial to the community than just sitting waiting on electrical lines and sewer pipes to be paid for. Sorry, got my notes. So we talked about associations. So it's not a loan, okay? It is an investment bond that you as the homeowner agreed to pay your particular portion of it. Now, again, different lots or different subdivisions have different bond rates. And of course you're going to hear, well, the bonds are the highest they've ever been. You're absolutely right. And guess what? In CDD 16, when it comes online, they're going to be even higher. And 17 higher after that. Why? Because costs continue to go up over time. When I bought my first house in the Villages 11 years ago, I had a courtyard villa. My bond was $13,000. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Neighboring homes were anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000, $30,000. Now they're higher. That was 11 years ago. What hasn't increased in cost in 11 years? The price of a vehicle, the cost of doing this work. They're buying materials. They've got fuel, lots of fuel for these big trucks to buy. They've got to buy the big trucks. All those costs are rolled into the bond. And it's always going to go up. It's almost impossible for it to go down. If it goes down, our economy probably is really hurting. Now, we do have an advantage here in the Villages. Our bonds are actually lower than many other communities. Okay? If you look in this past week's paper, there was this great big article here. Let me see. There we go. I can see it now. And it shows you this development and their bonds, $88,000, $73,000, $51,000. Why? Economy of scale. Our developer has the economy of scale. that can benefit everybody. So that's the bond, okay? Again, you're going to pay it no matter what. It's just, do you pay it in the mortgage or do you pay it separate? And as far as I know, you cannot take the interest for the bond and write it off on your taxes. Question that commonly comes up early, should I pay off my bond early? I can't answer that. You can only answer that yourself. Does it make financial sense? I don't know. That's up to you as an individual. For me, my first house, I said, if I'm here 6 years, I'm going to pay it off. I did, because I figured after 6 years I wasn't moving. Well, my wife had other plans. She wanted to move. So, but there's a history to that. Anyway, so that's the bond in a nutshell. So let's take a look at your questions. Talked about the groceries. Hello, is there any update on the grocery store in Middleton, Public Neighborhood Market? Thanks. Braden, we just answered that. No, we don't have anything. Let's see. It says, playing through with Mo and Jim. Okay, says, hi, Don, great work. Could you tell me if and where there is a landfill close to the villages? Where would one dispose of trash and yard debris if you do some landscape work? The landfill is at the intersection of 470 and I-75. So that's where the county landfill is. There's actually two landfills there. There's another one on the west side of I-75 at the same basic intersection that is for construction debris. So that one has construction debris, and you can see that when you're going up and down I-75. And then on the east side of I-75, you see the big mountain of trash. All right. Let's see. C.K. Murphy says, Don, thank you. We had seen an older documentary movie on YouTube on the villages that was confusing. Yeah, I can believe it. Joe says, hard to believe the environment, the state, and the aquifer does not revolve around the villages. Okay, yes. Theo says, I saw a drone video of cement being pumped down sandpipes into Shady Brook, supposedly to prevent sinkholes. Is this something the developer is doing? So that was DD Aerial Productions. He had a great video on that. I saw it. I thought he did a great job. And basically, they're filling voids. Now, what's a void? A void is exactly that. It's a void. It's an open area. What caused it? Who knows? They look for these during the preliminary surveying. Occasionally, they miss one. That appears what's happened here. They will fill them with grout or concrete to help stabilize them. They are not sinkholes. Apparently he was saying that one of them was like 100 feet deep. So you got 100 feet of dirt and soil and rock and everything between that void and the top. Is it going to collapse? Who knows? I mean, yeah, sinkholes are common throughout the country. It's not something that's unique to Florida. Any place you got limestone, you have a high chance of voids. Guess what? There's limestone all over the country. Changes in the aquifer level affect the formation of sinkholes. If the water level drops, it creates voids. That can cause weaknesses. That can cause a sinkhole. If the water level goes up, that causes erosion. That weakens it. That can cause sinkholes. So anything going on, any change in the water level can affect sinkholes. Just the normal flow through the underground cavities will eventually cause sinkholes through erosion. So we're going to get them. If you see a map of Florida and there is a round lake, that was probably a sinkhole at one time. And yes, if you look at the big map of Florida and you see Lake Okeechobee, yep, that's nothing but a big sinkhole, a collapsed sinkhole. All right. So yeah, they were doing some pumping to a couple of voids. I haven't reached out to any of my sources to find out any more details. But again, I thought DD Aero Productions did a great job on that. Mark says, do the bonds include the land purchase price? No, the bonds do not include the land purchase price. It is only their development bonds. And it's the CDD that's issued the bonds that will collect it from you that is going for that infrastructure construction. It's not the maintenance of it, though. They haven't issued another bond, okay, and they won't issue another bond unless they enlarge the development. But that's happened a couple of times up in CDD4. It's a whole different issue. But no, it does not include the land. What are the most mistakes looked over when buying or building a home in the villages today? What's the most or mistakes are looked over when... Matthew, that's a great question. You know what? If I had to say, it would be probably not anticipating your lifestyle and or over anticipating it. So some people build a pool and realize after a year or two or three that they don't use the pool, they don't want the pool, so then they sell and buy another house. Maybe the house is too big or too small. That's another thing. You know, so changes in lifestyle and not anticipating them are difficult to address, and some would consider it a mistake. Some areas that I always recommend to people, if you're doing a custom build and you got the room, make your lanai bigger. You're going to use it. Most people I know that have a nice size lanai use it extensively. Same thing with the garage. If you've got room to enlarge the garage, do it by all means. I would say if there's an expensive mistake, it's landscaping. The developer has a limited landscaping package that he can, that they will offer to you. Take the basic landscaping package, figure out what you want after you get settled in, give yourself some time, let your brain absorb the community and the layout of your home and your yard, and get some better ideas. It will probably save you some money by doing that. Let's see. Victoria says, hi, Don. Will the new garden villas have fencing all the way around like the courtyard villas and verandas? So, Victoria, I have some plans for those garden villas, and I'm going to show you. I think it's 4 of them that are there, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But from what I can see, yes, they do have fully fenced-in yards. Don wants to know, how can I find out how much my bond is? Okay, that's an easy one. Let's go to the web browser, and we're going to go over here to districtgov.org. Okay, this is the district government's website. Go over here to let's go to find my. No, we don't want to find my district. I know it. What it is. So residential districts, and we'll pick 15. Okay, and man, they have reworked this, so I am still at a bit of a loss on this website since they've reworked it. Let me see. Residential districts. No, that's not it. I'll find it here in a second. Bulletin board, Public Safety Administration. I'm going to find it. It's on here. I know. I found it this morning when I was doing some reading. community standards. I apologize, folks. Normally I know, well, before they revised this thing, I knew where everything was. And anyway, it's on this, here, just do this. Type in bond, and commonly used acronyms. All right, there it is. It's under finance. So it's under services, administration, finance. And you'll take Sumter County, and we will go to District 15, and then you pick your community, and I don't even remember. They got all the verandas east, verandas west, verandas north, 209. And you pull it up, and it will show you the bond rate. And, here you can see the principal, which is the amount of the bond, was $155,490,000 on 8.5 plotted acres, which is, whoa, that can't be right. 40 lots, 109. Oh, yes, it is. All right, so yeah, so if you look up here at the balance on the first part, it's 51,588 for this particular one. All right. Well, that was confusing. My apologies. Like I said, normally I know where these things are. They've rearranged this website and caught me off guard. All right. Let's see. I need a drink after all this bond talk. Hey, Steve, I agree with you. Is there a landfill across? Will Rizzo says there is a landfill across from the neighborhood Walmart on Moyer Loop. Yes, that is for construction debris. It is not for general public usage. And that's been there for, 25 years. That's not going anywhere. Thomas wants to know, which parcel of equal property is more expensive today? Is it a parcel on a pond or equal parcel on a golf course? You know what, Thomas? That's an interesting question. I actually have a pretty good insight into that. My friend Jim, he lives over in Shady Brook Verandas. He has the exact same floor plan that was in the house that he bought on a lot that is overlooking the golf course that I bought. It's a Hillsdale. Price of the house, or the houses were very similar. His lot's actually a little bit smaller than mine, but his lot premium was about $50,000 more than mine because it was on a golf course. So, yeah, I would say a golf cart lot is the most expensive. All right. Let's see. How do I find out how much a bond is? Okay. Oh, Mark wants to know, who audits the developer to guard against padding the infrastructure cost? So everything, invoices have to be submitted on everything. This is a government run bond that's being paid. So they're responsible for ensuring the proper payment. So that is monitored closely. There are very strict rules for payment to the government by government entities. I worked with Broward County Courthouse when it was being constructed, and I will tell you, from a contractor standpoint, working for the government is a pain. Just from billing, trying to get things going or get things paid. But the district government also is audited annually by an independent auditor. So everything is looked at very closely. Let's see. Another mistake, so Joe says, another mistake is not doing the appropriate due diligence, understanding amenities, government organizations, bonds, fire, etc. Your video should be required viewing before anybody buys. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just try and give people good factual information. So Jill says, Don, how far in advance should you order a golf cart? How long does it take to get a custom ordered one? That varies from time to time. During COVID, it was like 3 or 4 months. Now it's much faster. It just depends on what they have in inventory for customization. I would shop around. Villagers Golf Carts is by far the big kid on the block. But on the bottom of the screen, you see Country Villagers Power Equipment and Golf Carts. They are extremely competitive. They offer a 6-year warranty. They're going to be a much better buy. I don't know Nate's turnaround. Nate is the general manager, but I don't know his turnaround. I haven't bought one. I haven't bought a golf cart since I retired in 18. That was my retirement present to myself. So much for retirement. But I would say generally do some shopping when you're looking for your house, and ask that question. They'll give you a better feel. Again, it depends on backlog. This time of year with lots of seasonal residents here, it's going to take a little longer because there's a lot more orders being processed. All right. Let's see. Leanne says, "Hi Don, is there a way to find out what a home listed by VLS sold for?" The best thing I can tell you to do is go to the county property appraiser's website, and you can see the sales records there. But VLS is a private system, and they are not required to publish that information, as far as I know. But it is recorded in all the documents for the sale with the property appraiser. So that is Sumter, SUMTERPA.com, and you can do a search for a property and find out what it went for there. Let's see. Craig says, the Villages seems to have a large number of flippers buying a few lots and selling in a year. Prevents full-time residents from buying on ponds and golf courses. The year should be 5 to prevent this. Honestly, I don't see it as a lot of flippers. I mean, there are people that buy and then they change their mind. The Villages isn't for everybody. And, some people aren't happy once they get here. They miss the grandkids. They miss the cold weather. Maybe they're from Wisconsin or someplace like that. So that's a lot of it. Some of it is, I bought too big of a house. I didn't buy a big enough house. I put in a pool. I don't have room for a pool. There's different reasons people sell. The 1 year is to discourage flippers, because that causes them to sit on their investment for a year, which is not good, because you don't know what the market's going to do in a year. Mike B says, "I heard mention of a new full Walmart soon. Where is that happening?" That, if you know where Villages Grown is, which is on the corner of Morse Boulevard and 44, right there in front of Villages Grown is where the Super Walmart is going in, with like 21 gas pumps or something like that, some crazy number of gas pumps. It's diagonal from the Rohan Recreation Center. Let's see, any idea on what coffee shop is going into Middleton? None at all. I know they built a coffee shop. It's done, but it has not been built out inside yet, so I don't know what's going on. My sources aren't talking too much, but every time I drive through that area, I look in the window and see what's going on. Let's see. Why do some villages have a guardhouse? Jim, that's a great question. So it's for information purposes. and it's to help people that are visiting or residents coming in and they're not sure where they're going. It's so they can get information, and that's why they have them there. If you look, generally in any specific area, there is one manned gatehouse. So if you look at the village of Collier and I think it's Pinellas. Yeah, Collier and Pinellas. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 entrances into that area, but only one has a manned gatehouse. The rest are unmanned. Now, in a big area like the area between 44 and 466A, at the east side on Pinellas Place is a gatehouse, and on the west side at Hillsborough Trail, which are the 2 roads that cross that area, is a gatehouse with an attendant. So it's to give people an opportunity to get information if they need it. Let's see. Do you recommend non-ethanol gas in a golf cart? Mark, no. The golf carts are designed to run on the current fuel. The currently available fuel, which is E10, and there's no reason to spend more money on the recreational fuel. I've been running my golf carts for the last 11 years on the regular unleaded gas, the E10. Let's see. Mark says, want to mention Sumter County Citizens Academy. All right. Yes, so starting next week, the Citizens Academy for Sumter County is starting. It starts on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I asked the county administrator the other day. He says there are 5 seats available. This is 5 weeks long, and during that 5 weeks, you're going to get an introduction and an explanation to basically all the county services. You're going to see the different areas of the county. It meets once a week for 2 to 3 hours, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. It's all in the schedule, and they go to different areas, and you get to see different parts of it. It is put on by the district or the county government, and I will be there on Tuesday doing the introduction, as I am on the Board of County Commissioners, and it's my job to do the introduction. Something I'm greatly looking forward to. It's a great opportunity to learn and understand how our county government works. It's not something that's offered in every county. There's a similar residence academy here in the villages to learn about how the villages go. If you really want to know what's going on, take those 2. It is well worth your time investment. Let's see. Linda says, are they still changing out the gate entry boxes photo light? Okay, so what they're doing is they're changing over the card access system that it's running on. I don't know about the photo lights. They may be doing some upgrades on the camera. I've pretty much unplugged on most of the stuff going on at the district level, other than CDD 10 and 15 where I own houses. But they are doing an update on the software running the card access system. Let's see. Read an article this week that highlighted the village's popularity. Data says that for every 100 people that move out, 438 move in. As a comparison, 100 move out, 122 move in. Okay? I haven't read that. It's not an unreasonable assumption, but again, you're talking a very small area of the state of Florida. Florida's got, 19 million people in it, and the villages is about 157,000. So it's a very small percentage. People are coming here, and they are, they're coming here to retire. They want to be here. Um, let's see. Matthew says, only put premium gas in your golf cart. You will be sorry if you don't. Well, okay, that's, I'll say that's opinion. We'll leave it at that. There's, if you read the manual, they don't require it. Let's see. David says, any truth in the rumor that they plan to open a Diet Darlin's ice cream parlor in Eastport? I wish. I mean, I'm between their cookies and the Zanzibar chocolate, I am really hooked. Hey, let's take just a short break, and if I can stretch and get a fresh refill of my coffee. Welcome to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% Villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon. All right, we're back. Thank you for your attention, and I needed the break. So, yeah, thanks, David. Let's see. Will all the stores in Middleton open at the same time, and when? Jim, no, they're not. They're going to open up as they build out, and the first one, the first one was Citizens First Bank. Hello, Lily. My Lily's right here next to me. And come here, Sully. Oh, come here, you guys. No, nobody's gonna jump up. Okay, sorry. When you have golden retrievers, they run the house. All right. But no, the first place that's going to open up after the bank, which is already open, is Victory Family Sports Grill, and they are a couple of weeks away from opening that. I actually had lunch with Fred Karamapur, the owner of FMK Restaurants, the last week. Okay, and we talked at length, and he's actually agreed to come on the show, and we're gonna sit down. He's gonna answer questions, and we'll take your questions live. We'll talk about some other things he's got going on, and we haven't nailed down the exact week yet, but I would say within about the next 2-3 weeks that should happen, and I'm actually looking forward to it. And that remote, we're going to cross our fingers. It should work. I've done a lot of testing. Unlike I think it was episode 130 or episode 33, where we were doing it at Saluki. What an abysmal failure that was, and I apologize. Let's see. Mark Morgan says, any comment on the Villages Remains top U.S. community front page article on Wednesday's Daily Sun? I've read that so many times now over the last 11 years that just come to learn to expect it. It's a growing community. People are going to continue to retire, and they're looking for someplace good to retire. I mean, honestly, who wants to go face the snow this time of year? I sure don't. Let's see. Craig wants to know, Don, do you know if it's difficult to get a CDD job on the golf courses? I know that they're generally hiring. You can apply it at the, I believe at the districtgov.org website, but I don't have any clue on what their staffing is. Let's see. Thomas says Everglades Publix is jammed with shoppers from Eastport. No, it's not. There's nobody living in Eastport. When will the new shopping center be ready? When will it be ready? That is probably one of the most closely held secrets in the state, probably in the country. The developer does not give out the information on when things are opening up until they know for certain. We can speculate. Things are going to start happening here shortly. in Middleton. There's several places that are being built out. FMK's Victory Family Sports Grill is probably the farthest along, and they will be opening up. It's huge too. It's going to be a huge, huge restaurant. But as far as the other shopping centers, whenever they happen, there are no other grocery stores under construction right now, so it's going to be busy. And you know what? Everglades is no exception. The one over by Rohan Rec Center used to be extremely busy too before that one opened up. David, what is the latest total square miles for the villages? I really don't know. I just don't know. Don says, or Bud asked, Don, are there any plans for an assisted living facility south of 44? I haven't seen any. I know that there's one under construction right now. Where is it? It's up on 466A in the same shopping, or in that same area where Lowe's is at. But beyond that, I don't know of any. But again, things are happening all the time here. Victoria says my mastiff runs the house too. Yeah. I do what I do to give my dogs a good life. Mark wants to know, any guesses on what will be on the billboard on the Eastport softball field on Bexley Trail? You know what, Mark, I was just out there shooting that because that was an add-in I realized they needed to do for 152. I haven't even pulled it off the drone yet. I did that yesterday. The winds were terrible when I did it, so I'm really hoping it came out good. Generally it does. But I think it's just going to be an advertisement. And the reason I say that, there's no electrical work being put in there. There's no nothing fancy. It just looks like it's going to be a big billboard, so it's probably going to be advertising Eastport for people coming from that part of coming in that direction. I've been wondering that myself for the last 2 months. Craig says, thanks, Don. We be well buying in May. Hey, you can buy tomorrow. I know a great house. So Matthew wants to know, are you aware of issues with having on-demand water heaters on the outside of the home in the villages? That's a great question because when I finally took a shower at the new house, I was unimpressed. And then I started doing dishes, and I was really unimpressed with the water temperature. It's sitting at 120 degrees maximum. My other house, I think I had it set at 145. I want the hottest water possible going into my dishwasher. And as a trade-off, I get nice hot showers. You can override that 120 degree limit. I'm not going to tell you how to do it here. It takes all of about 30 seconds to do. Go online on YouTube, search the model number for your heater, and find the manual for it. You'll see how to override that right in there. Like I said, it takes all of 30 seconds. Victoria, thank you so much. I appreciate your contribution every week. I appreciate it. James says, I'm not real familiar with where the new Costco is going. How far of a golf cart drive would it be from the new Eastport area? Thank you. About an hour. It's a hike. By golf cart, it is definitely a hike. I know just going between my two houses, one is by, the one that's up for sale is by Brownwood, and the other is by Middleton, and it takes 45 minutes by golf cart, whether I go across the Water Lily Bridge or I go across the Bexley Bridge. Whichever one it takes, it's the same amount of time. So it's another easy 20 minutes from that to get up to 466. So yeah, by golf cart, it's a long hike. Let's see. Mark wants to know any comments on Thursday's Daily Sun recap article by the VPSD fire chief, since there are things that these are things that happened in 2024. I mean, from the county's perspective, the VPSD fire department is operating as designed, and their performance and the metrics that we see on a monthly basis are very good for response time and things like that. There's been some chatter about delays due to, there was an article in the Daily Sun about not approving of the MSTU, Metropolitan Service Taxing Unit, that was on the boards for VPSD as well as Sumter County Fire EMS. It affected villages for the VPSDDD, the village's fire department district, to the tune of about $600,000, and it was about $1.5 million for the county. It slows things down a little bit for VPSD. For the county, it was painful. We were forced to not hire 6 firefighters that we had anticipated, and it's keeping an ambulance off the road. It was a big loss. I was there for that meeting. It was after the election. It was. There was no reason not to approve it. I mean, we've got to fund it. We've got to fund our fire departments, and that was just part of the equation. The statement was made that the villages needs to help out the county fire department because the county's been helping out the villages fire department for the last 20 years. Well, all you got to do is simple math, and you see that that's completely wrong. Over the last 20 years, the villages has become a bigger and bigger portion of the county budget, and it's just the sheer fact that when you divide the two budgets out of the equation, and you pay for yours, I'll pay for mine, and I've got to pay more than you do. Well, it's because guess what? You were paying for mine to start with. Anyway, but that's all there is to that. Let's see. Wow. How often are the resident academies offered? So resident academy, I don't know. You'll have to check the District Gov website. The Citizens Academy is 4 times a year it's given. And the schedule, I believe, is on the county website. Jim wants to know, do you know anything about the first house at the entrance to Ruby Villas? It's been under some kind of construction for a long time now. Now, I don't really know anything about it. Walter asks a great question. Why doesn't the villages have its own police department since it has its own fire department and ambulances? Because it is not one of the services that the community development districts under Florida statute section 190 are allowed to do. Just like we don't do, the villages doesn't do permitting, it doesn't do it doesn't do police. It's just not allowed under Florida law. You've got, just think of the complexities of it also. We have 15 residential CDDs, 4 commercial CDDs. plus, anyway, we'll just go with those 19 for right now. You want one police department. So eventually it's got to fall to normally a city council or a county commission. Which one's it going to fall to? Because you have basically 19 local governments. It would just be, it would be chaos. You know, the closest thing we have to a central government really is the project-wide advisory committee that deals with CDs 5 through 13. There's a representative from it or from each of those CDs on the project-wide advisory committee, and that has always proven to be quite beneficial from a risk management perspective as well as a cost savings perspective. You know, here we go. I got to say it. It's just like going to Costco and buying, you know, a gallon of ketchup. It's a lot cheaper than if you buy just one little bottle, and that's what we do. Let's see. Yes. So Jimmo says, is that submarine picture behind you a picture as you were working on it? Impressive. So that picture behind me, right, there it is, that one right there, is the USS Kentucky, SSBN 737. That was the last ship I was on. I was the chief reactor operator on board Kentucky for the Blue Crew for just over 5 years. I did 9 patrols on her, each patrol being 3 months underwater. So I did a lot of time underwater on her. I said the Blue Crew because it's a missile sub, and to get maximum availability, basically ready to launch. There are 2 crews on the missile subs, and they swap off. The boat's in for roughly 3 weeks, swaps crews, does maintenance, and then back out for the better part of 3 months. Comes back in, same thing happens again for 3 weeks. It is a very busy time. It's very demanding work. But it's one I definitely enjoyed doing over the years. I was actually on 4 different submarines. That was the last one. I did a total of 18 of those 3-month deterrent patrols over my 20 years, and that was enough. That was quite enough. All right. So we talked. Oh, you know what? I talked about the floor plans. Let's pull those floor plans up. Let me find them. Where'd I put them? No, that's the web browser. Here we go. Okay. So I found out some of the plans for the new garden villas. The first one we're looking at here is called a Tranquility. So interesting because you see that it's got a 2-car garage on one side of the front door and a golf cart garage on the other side. Here's let me see here. I got to find the right button. Come on, Don. Why isn't it working? All right, let's go. Okay, come on. This is supposed to jump to the next picture. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Huh. I have the floor plans. I apologize. I tested this before we went live, and here we go. So there's the floor plan for it. Here you can see at the bottom of the screen is the 2-car garage and the 1-car garage, and behind the golf cart garage you see the lanai. It's on the side, kind of a different layout, something they haven't done before. And to the left of that is the main room, the living room, and that. And then at the top of the screen, it looks like we have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So let's see if we can go to, okay, next we have a Serenity. So this is a little different, and this is It's got that same side. It appears to have a golf cart garage as well as a 2-car garage. The entrance is, where is the entrance? I can't see the entrance to the house. No, is that the bath? That may be the entrance right there. I don't know. Yeah, there's the main room, a lanai, and then a couple of bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, all in the back. Botanical is another floor plan. So this one again it has a golf cart garage. The entrance on this one is on the side because the lanai is in the back here. And it looks like, I can't tell how many bedrooms. Yeah, it's 3 bedrooms. Yeah. So very long hallway going down this right side. And let's see, this is an oasis. Living room here, the dining room here, the kitchen is in the back of the house here. And then you've got, looks like 3 bedrooms also. So different things coming. You can't say the village doesn't keep trying new things. And we looked at the tranquility already. All right. Let's go back. All right. By the way, there is a raffle going on for a golf cart. It's a charity raffle. The drawing is, okay, I need better glasses. January 28th at noon. Villages Rotary, the Rotary Club of the Villages Noon group is sponsoring it. And Country Village Golf Carts, or Country Village Power Equipment Golf Carts, is the one providing the golf cart. You can either take the golf cart, which is valued at about $19,000, or you can take $14,000 cash. We got a few more comments here, and we'll get through those. Let's see. Victoria wants to know, can you explain what the neighborhood watch entitles? So you must be talking about not neighborhood watch. Anyway, I know what you're talking about. They assist law enforcement, and they do things like courtesy checks. If you leave your garage door open in the middle of the night, you will get a phone call, because when they drive by, if they see your garage door open at 2 a.m, unless you're out there working, they're going to assume you accidentally left it open. They'll call you and let you know it's open. But Community Watch does a lot of good. If there's an accident or something, they will help law enforcement with traffic control, and redirecting people. They do a lot of good things. They're also the people who man the gates. Don't forget to show us. Okay, so Linda, I just showed you the garden plan villa. I'll get it out in a second. Boy, the tongue is getting tied. I'm getting hungry. I'm grilling tonight. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, so yeah, the garden villas are up. Chris wants to know, do you know anything about what needs to be done at the Sharon Rose Winter Preserve on Moyer Loop, as it's been closed for many months? It's full of water. Okay, we had that big storm. The storms come through. There is no natural drainage, so it's going to drain by evaporation and ground seepage. And in this rich clay soil, ground seepage is minimized. So they're just waiting for it to go down. Mark says, should California consider creating special districts such as in Florida to redevelop their burned down subdivisions? Typically 10,000 plus homes have burned down so far. Yeah. Do we really want to talk about California? I mean, I lived in California for 5 years growing up as a kid. I've been out there for work for many times. It's on the left coast for a reason. Whatever they do, it's going to be twice as expensive as anything else, and they'll screw it up. Robert says, thank you for your service. Do you use the VA healthcare? If you do, what is your opinion of the level of care? Thanks for all you do, Bob. So, Bob, I do not use the VA. TRICARE is what I have for healthcare, and it's accepted by the Villages Health. I'm very happy with the service I'm getting there. I have not had any dealings with the VA. I have no service-related disabilities, so as far as I know, other than being a little bit OCD. So I can't really speak for the local VA facilities. I hear they're very good. I've had very limited exposure since I retired with the VA. Sadly, the exposure I did have was at the VA hospital in Memphis. I worked there for several months, doing some security upgrades and some HVAC work when I was in construction, and it was kind of depressing. You'd walk in every day and you see the same folks sitting there waiting to get an appointment because they waited so long. You know, they're waiting to get seen. It wasn't pretty. I was unimpressed with what I saw. Hopefully it's gotten better. You know, that's been 99 and 2000 when I was doing that work. So it's been almost 25. Well, it has been 25 years. Oh my gosh. Well, I think we're getting old here. Anyway, I wish I could give you some more insights on the VA. I heard it once said, if you want to know what's wrong with government health care, just go to the VA. Government run, that's a prime example of government-run health care, and they have gone through their consternations over the years. So they've had so many problems. It's shameful that our veterans aren't given better care, and as a country, that is a big disgrace, in my opinion. Mark says, I don't like having a garage with a house in the back, front door not visible on some of those. You know, Mark, I agree with you 100%. You know, on those floor plans, and as well as many of the current Courtyard Villa floor plans, you don't see the front door. It's like going down a cave. I don't like it. The one that I have for sale, the houses are sitting at an angle. Looking out my front door, I can see like 5 or 6 of my neighbors' houses. They can see me. It's much more inviting. People didn't like the curved driveways, though. Personally, I didn't have a problem with it. All right. Wow. Let me make sure I got everything on my things. Oh, yeah. So, of course, one of the big news this week was McCrady's is being taken over by FMK, Fresh Market Kitchens, as is the demonstration kitchen over in Sawgrass Grove. Is also being taken over by FMK. That's Fred Karmapour's organization. I think you guys are going to like it when we do the interview with Fred. He shared some of his background with me and how he got here to the Villages and his impressions of doing business. Very interesting individual. So I look forward to doing that. And Fred's been a huge supporter of mine over the years, and I have put my share of money into the FMK restaurants over the years. I spent a lot of time at Evans Prairie and many of the other restaurants. One of the questions that came up this past week was the docks over at Lake Sumter Landing. And should we be paying for them because those are facilities, they're not amenities. And so they are amenities. They are owned by the Sumter Landing Amenities Division, SLAD. SLAD has a responsibility for maintaining them. I'm not going to say I agree with everything that's going on there. Before SLAD purchased them, they should have been repaired and in good shape. It's unfortunate that didn't happen like that. But hey, the powers that be made those decisions. But the residents are not paying for that. Okay, Sumter Landing Amenities Division is paying for that. You pay every month the Sumter Landing Amenities Division. They have a responsibility then to provide the amenities as agreed to in there's multiple contract documents, not just the ones that you got when you bought your house, but existing contracts with agreements between Village Center Community Development District for the amenities north of 466, as well as now with amenities in CDD 14 and 15 that are part of the Eastport Amenities District. Yeah. I guess we've beaten that one. Yeah, I mean, they have to maintain it. So Mark says, why is that lake not for public use? One word, alligators. I don't fully understand why you're not allowed to canoe, kayak, whatever, on the lake whenever you want. Other than there is no provisions for emergency response. There's no lifeguard or things like that. There's no patrol on the water to make sure everything is going straight. So that's part of it, I think. But it would be nice, I know a lot of people want to go fishing there, and I know you can go fishing off the side of the lake, but it is what it is. Let's see. Catherine wants to know. Catherine, that is a heck of a last name. I'm not even going to try and destroy it. I apologize. But do the HVAC systems in the houses, in the villages, have heat? Yes. They are using heat pumps. Heat pumps are basically just a reversible air conditioner. And they're sucking heat from outside and pumping it into your house. And if it gets too cold, they have auxiliary heat or emergency heat, which is just basically radiant heating strips. And they supplement when the heat pumps can't produce enough heat. Amazingly, it's one of the reasons why I don't think heat pumps are a great idea for swimming pools. Many people have heat pumps, and they say they're great. It's hard to get warmth when it's cold outside. If it's 40 degrees out, you're not going to heat your pool, and if you do, you're going to heat it extremely slow. My pool, I have gas heat. My gas heater puts out, I don't remember if it's a 300 or 400,000 BTU heater. It's big. But no matter what, that's the amount of heat that it can put out regardless of the outside temperature. So it heats up pretty fast. I had my nephews here, I guess it was about 3 years ago. Maybe 4. It was just before David passed away. And I knew they wanted to get in the pool. It was February. It took 2.5 hours to heat up the pool from, it was about 50 degrees up to 88 degrees. And they had a grand time. The hot tub takes 10 minutes from whatever the temperature it is to heat it up to 103. And that's with gas heat. So it does work extremely well with gas heat. It wouldn't be that fast with a heat pump. All right. I think I have covered everything on my list. Anybody have any last minute questions before we call it a day? I have got some tomahawk pork chops that I am cooking on the grill this evening for Debbie. It's one of our favorites. You get them up at Fresh Market, which is right in front of where the new Costco is going. So, you see my advertisers on the screen here. They're all good people. I have many of their products. I only recommend people that I trust, and I agree with what they do. I've turned down many advertisers because I don't think they're a good choice. Today's sponsor is Coral Casual. They're now over in the Wildwood Shopping Center by the post office, and they have great patio furniture, and as well as home decor. Garage skins is a great option for changing your the facade of your garage, and it's relatively inexpensive, and it's easy to install. A rack above and magic stairs. A rack above and magic stairs are two different options for storage in your garage. Either one is a great option, just depends on what your needs are. Kitchen-wise, closet-wise, they do great work. Scott is the owner. He's a village resident. He takes great pride in what he does. His crews do a great job. Who else is up here? Anyway, enjoy those tomahawks. You betcha. They're a favorite. Oh yeah, Surf to Turf. If you need your house inspected after you buy it new, give Surf to Turf a call. Also, obviously, I'm going to advertise my company. I ran a special, and I appreciate the response I got for folks for this year. We're off to a great start. I take pictures of your home inside and out. I do flyovers 3 times a week. Share those with you so you can follow the construction. My background is construction, so if you have questions, I can answer those questions. I can explain most things that are happening. It's a level of service that's not available anywhere else. And again, it's because of my background. I've done over 230 homes now in the last 5.5 years. And I really enjoy doing it. Also, if you have a club or a social group, one of the services that my company, Gold Wingnut Productions, offers is live streaming. Or I can record it or do both. Basically, I put in cameras and we record the event. We can live broadcast it on YouTube or Facebook or both. Or we can just record it for you, and then you can share it however you want. If you're interested in that service, give me a call, 352-661-6175. Will you, let's see. Great, lots of comments, appreciate all that. Mark wants to know, will you tour the new model homes? I will go through them, but I'm not going to shoot video in them. I may take a few stills of something I find particularly interesting, but I'll leave the advertising for the new homes up to the villages to do that. You'd close out. Okay. Linda says, I don't mean to be impatient, but it's after 4 and I'm afraid you didn't close out before showing them. So, Linda, I'm assuming you're talking about the floor plans. I did show those. I will, as they close, I will put them on a loop. Let me get that set up. After we close, I'll put them on a loop for a few minutes so you can look at those floor plans. With that being said, folks, have a great day. It's another beautiful day here in the villages. It's a little chilly, but it's always nice, and look for the good things in life, and don't dwell on the bad. Life is much too short. With that, you all have a good day, and we'll do this again next week. Welcome to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% Villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon.